Yo, 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 what's good, y'all? It's your boy, Coach Mike D, and we got another breakdown for you guys for the NFL season. We're going to do a little bit different today. We're going to break down the entire remaining schedule and playoff picture for this remaining NFL season. Okay, it's going to be a good one. So get your popcorn and get your soda. But it's going to be a nice little video. We won't keep it too long. But we have a good season going on right now, and it's coming to a conclusion here. We're getting ready to head into the playoffs. So again, before we get started, make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe on the channel, and share this content. You know, we put a lot of hard work into it. We are a small organization trying to go into a big organization. So please, share the content to people all the way around. And also, too, I got something special for you guys today. It is the holiday season, giving mood. So we're going to run a contest here for you guys, and you got to stay to the end to find and what the term and condition of that contest is. And to be eligible for the contest, you have to be a subscriber to the channel. So if you have, please subscribe to the channel. I'm giving away $30. You heard it, $30 for the Christmas season. Hey, so it may not seem like a lot of money, but hey, it may buy a gift or warm somebody's heart. So I'm going to give $30 out at the end of this season. Winners at the end of this video. And the winner will be announced next week on Wednesday. And our video lottery we're going to do. So stay tuned to that one as well. So stay to the end of the video to find out the terms and conditions of the winner. So we're going to break it down right now, and let's hit it and let's go. So basically, the NFL season is coming to a conclusion, and right now there's a lot of wins or at eight. What I mean that you could lose, a loss could knock you out of the playoffs, or a loss can knock you down in the seeding to where you're already sitting. A lot of the divisions are very tight, and we're going to look at where teams fans right now or really fans don't know what's going on. They don't know if the team will be in the playoffs, and some teams have already checked out and getting ready for next off season, making a lot of changes on at the top with some coaching and probably personnel. But we're going to look at it and see what we can do to break it down. And here we go. So we look at each division, the AFC and the NFC. Right now, the NFC division in the number one slot right now is last week's results. We're in week 15 of the NFL season. The St. Louis, I'm sorry, not St. Louis, the Los Angeles Rams are 10-3 right now at the top of the division. Right now, holding on to that number one seed slot right now. Following behind them are the Green Bay Packers, are sitting at 9. Think that title means that tie they did with the Dallas Cowboys could potentially prop them up depending on how they finish. Behind them right now is the Philadelphia Eagles, who are sitting at 8-5, and right now they're playing have a lot of confusion in their locker room. But hey, they're sitting right now at the 3 seed, controlling their destiny. Behind them are the Carolina Panthers. Surprisingly, the Carolina Panthers are number 4 right now, leading the AFC South division. That lost yesterday on Thursday when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost to the Atlanta Falcons. Seattle Seahawks sitting at 10-3, or sitting at the number 5 division. Now, a lot of you guys probably thinking, man, well, the way with the current format is the division leaders are going to occupy those top 4 slots. Now, you tell me in the comments below, do you think that the NFL has been a big discussion? Do you think the NFL should change on how the playoff seeding is? You be the judge of that. You tell me in the comments below. Also, the San Francisco 49ers sitting at 9-4 in the 6th slot, and then followed up by the Chicago Bears, who are sitting 9 and sitting at number 7. Now, there are some teams that are in the hunt in the division. You have the Detroit Lions, surprisingly, are sitting in the 8th slot, and on the outside, they're at 8-5. And because that NFC North division is so critical losses, as you can see, almost out of the playoffs. Sitting at number 9, they got bumped down out of the slot number 4 they held before they lost that game on Thursday. So now they bumped them all the way down to the 9 slot. They're sitting at 7-7. So all the wins they win this year are critical for them. At number 10 is the Dallas Cowboys. They're 6-6. That tie again with the Green Bay Packers could also help them vault up the standings, which the Cowboys right now look to get into the playoffs. And then an honorable mention, the Minnesota Vikings at 5-8. They are not statistically or numerically eliminated, but they have to play the Dallas Cowboys Sunday with a loss. pretty much they're going to be eliminated if that happens. But we're going to put them up there because right now, again, mathematically, they're not out. All right. So the AFC. The AFC has a lot of power. Right now, the Denver Broncos are atop that division with 4 games left to play. They're looking very good, very dominant, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The New England Patriots, the darling of the playoffs of the AFC, are at 11-2. Doesn't matter how they got there. I know people probably want to talk about, how their season went, how it's been going, and who they played. Doesn't matter. You play who's on your schedule. They're 11-2 and sit in the number 2 slot and have a chance to get to that number 1 slot. The Jacksonville Jaguars sitting at 9-4 or leading their division, the AFC South, who was led by the Colts, but they've had some attrition, especially with Daniel Jones going down with an Achilles tear. And right now it looks like Phillip Rivers, which we got an alert early today that he is going to be starting on Sunday in that game that they have to play. And that could be a critical game for them, depending also what happens with Jackson. The Pittsburgh Steelers, my Pittsburgh Steelers, are sitting at number 4 and ahead of the AFC North Division when we beat the Ravens. The Ravens lost to the Bengals and then lost to us, and that gave us the leg up. The LA Chargers are sitting at 5 in the standings right now. The Buffalo Bills are sitting at 6 at 9-4 as well. And the Houston Texans have squeezed themselves back up into the hunt when they were on the outside looking in, and now they're sitting at number 7 with a chance to get in the playoffs by any means necessary. Of course, there are some teams that are in the hunt. The Colts right now are sitting at 8. They dropped down when they lost the division lead. So right now they're on the outside looking in to get in the playoffs still if they can win out. That's why they went and got Phillip Rivers. Quiet as a kept, from what I heard, runs the same offense at his high school that he was coaching that the Colts actually run. He actually has been a liaison to them on trying to help them with the offense. So that's why they went and got him, because a lot of people are questioning why would they go get a 44-year-old quarterback. And apparently, from what I heard, his arm strength is still good. He doesn't have a lot of wear and tear from the season on. He hasn't played all year, so his arm isn't worn out. So he has a lot of velocity. So he should be able to go, but he is going to go on Sunday. The Baltimore Ravens are sitting at number 9. They were number 4, but they're number 9. They're sitting at 6-7. They've had a rocky season, a lot of letdowns in games, and the fan base for the Ravens are really reeling, especially with the advent of Derrick Henry having his team. They've been favorites coming to every season, yet they have fell off a cliff. And the real surprise of the AFC is the Kansas City Chiefs. They also sit at 6-7, and they're the number 10 seed. Right now, the Chiefs are looking like they're going to. There are a lot of teams ahead of them, and their vision is real tight. So if they have any mishap, they're going to be out of the playoffs. And then, of course, the Dolphins have snuck their way back up into the playoff picture. They are number 10. They are not mathematically eliminated. They need to win out as well if they want to have any shot at the playoffs. The Dolphins are playing real good football. They've totally changed up their offensive scheme, especially with the advent of some injuries, losing Tariq Hill, and it looks like that those have given them some dividends. So they're right now sitting. We'll give the honorable mention to, again, they're not mathematically eliminated. They did have some strides coming back. They got a little bit of hope when Joe Burrow came back off of injury, but they have some major losses, and it's not looking good. Right now, they have to play the Ravens on Sunday. We can honestly say they're going to be eliminated. So there you have it. There's right now the seeding right now as it sits in week 15. So right now we're going to go down each division in each conference and look at each team and see where they're sitting and what they're looking like, and the teams they have to play left to see what is going to happen, because these games are critical. A loss could knock you out. So let's go. We're going to start in the NFC, and we're going to look at that playoff picture right now. We're going to start. The NFC South is getting real, but especially with that loss on Thursday when Tampa Bay lost to the Falcons. Right now, the Carolina Panthers are sitting at 7-6 and 2-1 in the division. The last game they played against the Rams in a surprising win. They beat. So they control their destiny. They went out. Most likely they're going to be in the playoffs, and Tampa Bay is going to be outside looking in. Tampa Bay sitting at number 2 in the division at 7-7 and 2-2 in the division. They had a loss to the Falcons on Thursday. The Atlanta Falcons right now have been mathematically. We're not going to get into too much with them. We're going to focus on the two top teams, but we just want to let you know their record sits at 5-9. They are 2-3 in the division. Okay, and then of course the New Orleans Saints are sitting at 3-2. But the New Orleans Saints had a week prior where they beat the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have lost 2 in a row when they were to division opponents, to the 2-10 Saints, now who are sitting at 3-10. But again, the Saints are mathematically eliminated. We're not going to discuss too much about next season. Now, basically, the in the last the Carolina Panthers are 3-2. Notable wins they have against the Rams and against the Packers. Okay, the Buccaneers are 1-5 in their last 6 games, so they cannot find a win. Kirk Cousins has a winning record. When Kirk Cousins played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home, he is undefeated right now. So Kirk Cousins was like their worst nightmare. So just come to show you what's going on. The only notable win, that's the only win. They have lost 2 straight division losses. Like I told you, they lost to the Saints, then lost to the Falcons. That hurts, especially when you're trying to win, get in the playoffs and try to win a division. The division, of course, if you did not know, gives you a playoff, home playoff game. So they're trying to get that. They got 2 games left. This is a very tight race because they play each other in the last season. The Tampa Bay and the Carolina Panthers play each other. So those games are going to be critical on if they can squeeze them out and win a division. We can see what some fireworks may happen, but they got to win games. So right now, Carolina controls their destiny, and so does Tampa Bay. Real close division. Okay, the NFC East. The NFC East is one of the more popular divisions in the NFL. Right now, being led by and 2-2 in the division. They had a bad loss this last Sunday, where they lost to the Chargers 22-19. Where Jalen Hurts turned the ball over 5 times. You heard me, 5 times. He threw 4 interceptions and he had 1 fumble. Actually, he had a turnover he did a turnover on the same, threw an interception. The ball got fumbled. He picked it up. You never see that, but it did happen. So he had a real bad game. And right now, but they're still sitting atop the division and controlling. But the Cowboys are right on their heels. They did split the division right now with the Cowboys. The Eagles beat them early in the year, beginning of the season, and then the Cowboys turned around and beat them. So now that split could really make a difference, especially with the Cowboys having a tie on their record. So this is getting real critical. Now the Cowboys are sitting at 6-6. Okay, they had a bad loss last week against the Lions, where they lost. The defense can't stop anybody. George Pickens still having those issues, kind of loafing and playing when he wants to play, which was an issue he had in Pittsburgh, while Pittsburgh let him go. But he should come around. I think they're going to get that corrected. But again, the Cowboys control their own destiny. They are 3-1 in the division, so they hold the division as far as wins in the division over the Eagles. Right now, the Commanders have been mathematically eliminated, so they're out of it. They shut down Jaden Daniels for the year. You see, he had issues with his elbow. You know, he dislocated it. They got him back, but then he re-aggravated, so they wanted to. So they're pretty much out of it. They are 1-1 in division at 3-10, but they have been. The Giants are also mathematically eliminated, even though they were trying to. It looks like they want to make some strides with Cam Scatterboot being an emerging playmaker feature in their offense when they started him. But of course, Cam Scatterboot went down, also along with Neighbors, a wide receiver, got hurt. Just kind of kaputted them down, so they should. People should be really looking at that team. Really make a splash in the NFL. Depends on who the right coach comes in. Of course, you know they let Daboll go. They fired him. So we're just going to keep watching that team, and as they retool to see what they do. But they should be dangerous next year, especially if they get Neighbors back. Now, when it comes to the Eagles, they have lost their last 5 games, 3. So some notable wins they've had, though, in that stretch was against the Packers and against the Giants. So they got a division win, and of course they beat an opponent they need to beat to try to get. Again, those games matter. Even if they're out of your division, you're in the same conference. That can, if you win out, that could probably prop you up over them in the seeding because everybody wants to get that top seed on the higher seed so they can play a lower seed, can give them that division home game, but also it also lets the fact you got to play a juggernaut that may knock you out. So you want to make your first round. The Dallas Cowboys are sitting 3-2 in their last 5 games. They have some notable wins. They did beat the Eagles and they also beat the Chiefs. Okay, they were going on a real big stretch where they had beat both participants in last year's Super Bowl. Then they ran to the Lions, and then the Lions stopped all that right then and there. So brought them back to reality a little bit. But the Cowboys are looking real good. Their offense is one of the best in the league. I think they're top 5 in offense. Dak Prescott is an MVP candidate. So they have a lot to prove here. They just need to win out. If they want to get in the playoffs, win out. And I think they're going to try to do that. Their schedule is very favorable. Okay. Now we're going to look at the NFC North Division. Now the NFC North Division is very, very tight. This is a tight division. You have some of the best records in this division along with the NFC West. But the North Division has playoff teams that were out there last year, and one of them has fell off a cliff, and we'll get into it. So the tight race, the Green Bay Packers right now, they are 9-3-1. And again, you got to watch that tie. That tie could prop them up above a team. Don't take a tie considered to win the way the NFL rules are set up. So they are 4-0 in their division, and the Green Bay Packers are the only team in the whole NFC conference that is undefeated in their division right now. So they have a real big chance running that division and claiming a seed right now. They're in number 2. And if they went out and they slip up with the Rams, they can have the number 1 seed and get. Because right now, if you don't know, only the first round gets a bye. It used to be the first 2. 1 and 2 got a bye. Now it's only the first seed in each division. So everybody's trying to find a way to do that. The easiest way to do that, when you high on wins like them, just win out. They are in their last 5 games 4-1. So they have been on a roll. The notable wins, they beat the Lions and they beat the Bears. Those are both division wins, and those wins you got to have. And they are playoff teams looking like. You want to make sure you put your foot on their neck. And the Lions had the top seed last year when they got ran out of the building when Jaden Daniels came into town and beat them in a division game. So right now the Lions are reeling. The Chicago Bears, the darlings right now. And again, hats off to Ben Johnson and job with that team. They have made a total 180. He has done a very good job with Caleb Williams and his development. Now, Caleb is still a young quarterback, and he is developing, and he still has some flaws with his accuracy and stuff. But you can tell with the offense, being in that system, Ben Johnson has dumbed it down for him a little bit, make it more simplified, and he has a lot of weapons at his disposal. So hats off to Ben Johnson, the job he's done. Chicago was 9-4 in the division, but they are almost like 9-4 overall, but they're only 1-3 in the division. So they got to do a little bit better job that can help them prop up above Green Bay. They may not catch them, but they are 1-3. They have struggled. Basically, they are 4-1 in their last 5 games. They have beat some good teams. Okay, a win is a win this late in this year. So 4-1 is a good start. So they had some notable wins against the Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they beat the Steelers. A lot of people thought they weren't going to be able to beat the Steelers, but they did. They beat them by 3. But again, a win is a win. And of course, beating a division opponent like the Eagles, if the Eagles slip any, they'll have the tiebreaker over them, and they can vault over them because the Chicago Bears are sitting number 7. If they went out and the Eagles slip, they could vault right up to number 3 division or even number 2 in division, and they can have a more lesser opponent starting off the first round of the playoffs. Right now, they're when it comes to their opponents, they have 3 games left that are very critical. So the Chicago Bears have to play the Lions, the 49ers, and the Packers. These are all teams that are either in the playoffs, and of course, the Lions are number 8. They're trying to get in. So those 3 games for them are critical. So they got to find a way to either win them all or win at least 2 out of 3 and at least beat. They got to beat the Packers and they got to beat the Lions. If anything, the 49ers, hey, they're number 6, but you got to beat your division opponents. They can really put a hurting on them and give them a tiebreaker if it comes to it in the seeding. When it comes to the Detroit Lions basically are the number 3 in the division. They are 8-5 right now, as you know. The last game they played the Packers and they lost that game to the Packers. And right now, in the last 5 games, they are 3-2. So 3-2 in the division. They are reeling a little bit, but they They're trying to. I'm not trying to 1-3 in the division, but they're 3-2 in the last 5 games. So they're trying their best to right the ship and get wins. And they've had some impressive. They just put their foot on their neck, put the foot on the pedal. Dallas had no answer for the game. Like I said, he broke an NFL, a team record, and an NFL record with Barry Sanders. So he has come into light, and that guy's gonna make. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get McCaffrey type money. What do you think? You tell me in the comments. When it comes to the notable wins, they won. They beat the Packers, but the Packers beat them, so they had a loss in that division. They unfortunately they have to do something about that. They have a loss against them, so they split, and I think they played them one more time. They got to play the Vikings and the Bears, and they have to play the Packers. So they have to find a way in those last 2 games. The Vikings are pretty much almost out of it, but they gotta beat the Bears, and when they got one more shot against Green Bay, if they want to climb back up and try to get into the playoffs. Really, they need to win out. They can't afford to lose any more games. They can't afford to lose anymore. So hopefully they can win this Sunday and keep it rolling. The Minnesota Vikings, again, we talked about it earlier. The Vikings are not mathematically, but they are still in the playoffs. But again, they're 5-8 and they're 2-2 in the division. They are pretty much out of. They got to play the Cowboys unless something magically happens. Right now, Minnesota looks like, and we were talking about it. It looks like that they made a mistake in letting Sam Darnold go. J.J. McCarthy, as good as he is, was a national championship quarterback at the University of Michigan, but he did not have a good rookie debut because he got hurt early in the season training camp, so he didn't have a good year. They had spent a lot of draft capital on him, but Sam Darnold had that team 15-2 last year, and he started to part ways with Sam Darnold, and now he's with the Seahawks, and they are perennial. And right now, that learning curve for a young quarterback, which pretty much this is his rookie year, you can see it has not played dividends in Minnesota right now with that vaunted receiving core they have with Jefferson and Addison. Looks like they're going to be on the outside looking in this year, and they're going to be watching the playoffs with us. Their last 3 opponents are the Cowboys, the Lions, and the Packers. So those are the last 3 games. So hopefully whatever happens, maybe they can be a spoiler for them. They're probably not going to get in the playoffs, but maybe they can spoil somebody's seeding or maybe knock the Lions out of the playoffs. I know that probably feel good to them to knock out a division opponent. Now we're going to look at the NFC West. Now the NFC West is also another tight division. Their race is really tight. I mean, the seeding can be played with this when it comes to this division. So we got the Rams, who are sitting at 10-3 atop the division, and they're 3-1 in the division. Basically, the last game they played, they annihilated the Arizona. Matthew Stafford was throwing the ball all over the place, but the Arizona Cardinals are reeling. So they're looking into offseason. They are mathematically eliminated. So they're not even an afterthought right now in this situation. In the last 5 games, the Rams are 4-1. So they are really playing well. And their next 4 opponents, they're playing then they play the Falcons and then the Cardinals. Then, of course, the notable wins are the 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. So they just beat them in division play. So that's good for them. That gives them a leg up, and also knocks them down when it comes to them trying to chase in the standings for seeding. So Rams are looking good right now. If they win out, they're going to be your number 1 seed unless something happens. They got to find a way to hold on to it. Any major loss because sometimes. But McVay has done a very good job with his team. They brought in Davante Adams. Totally revamped the team. They retooled. They lost their number 1 receiver. They traded him over to the Seattle Seahawks. And right now he's off. He's pretty much not even non-existent. And the Davante Adams trade is paying dividends, especially with him and Puka Nacua. They did lose their tight end. He's out with an injury that may come back to haunt them in the playoffs because teams start condensing down, defending them. But right now they're top of the division. The Seattle Seahawks right now are 10-3 also. You see, tight division. This division can flip easily. Right now, the Rams are number 1. Well, if they lose games, the Seattle Seahawks and get the number 1 seed if they went out. They had an impressive win. Their last game, they beat the Falcons and annihilated them. They let them know you're not supposed to be in the same field with them. Sam Darnold is playing exceptional football. They are 2-2 in the division in the last 5 games, 4-1. And the last games on the schedule, they got Colts, they got to play the Rams, the Panthers, and the 49ers. So they could easily squeeze those out. I mean, these are tough defensive opponents. The Rams have an explosive offense, and so does the Colts. The 49ers, they're reeling a little bit, but they can still potentially beat them. The notable wins they had was they beat the Vikings, they lost to the Rams. So that loss that they got can hurt them if they have to play the Rams again. If they lose, that's going to keep them down seating. These Seahawks are going to be in the playoffs unless they fall off a cliff. That's the only way I can't see them. I doubt that happens. They're doing a real good job, and the Seattle Seahawks made the right decision in getting Sam Darnold. Hats off to that organization. I know they parted ways with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, the quarterback from last year, but they are looking good. That defense is very scary. They are one of the best teams in pressure rate. They lead the league in pressure rate on quarterbacks, and that spells havoc for a Mr. Phillip Rivers who just came back in the NFL trying to help the Colts get in the playoffs and salvage their season. We'll see how that game goes. They play that game on Sunday. When it comes to the 49ers are 9-4. They are also 4-1 in the division. They actually have in the division, but they are 9-4. They just came off a win where they beat the Cleveland Browns 26-8. They annihilated them. Didn't give them any leeway. I think that's the game that Shedeur Sanders was playing in. One of his first games. Didn't do too hot, but the 49ers are the 49ers. We're talking about Kyle Shanahan, who's a very good play caller. That organization has been holding themselves together. He's doing a very good job at keeping them together. They've had some major injuries. Brandon Ayuk tears his ACL early in the year. Then they lose their middle linebacker, Fred Warner. They lose him to a horrific ankle injury where he breaks his ankle and he's out for the year. So they've had injuries all over the place, and yet that team is still reeling. They still got McCaffrey. They still have the quarterback. So they're looking good. Remember, they are a battle-tested team. They've been to playoffs many, many times and played in Super Bowls. So you can't count on a 49er team. Right now, they are 4-1 in the last 5 games, and they basically have to play the Seattle Seahawks, the Titans, the Colts, and the Rams. Those are last four games they have to play. Their notable losses, though, against the Rams. They lost against the Rams. They got to fix that, too. The next time they play them, they need to even that out. Again, as you can see, a lot of division games at the end of the year, as all the conferences that we have broke down, you can see that it is critical. The NFL has done a really good job of putting these division games late in the year like this because it can make the difference on you being in the playoffs or watching it with us on TV. You know what I'm saying? All right. Then, of course, the Cardinals are last in the division. My God, the Cardinals just can't get it right. They drafted Kyler Murray, number 1 overall, about 4 or 5 years ago, and it just has not worked. They are 3-10 overall, and they're 0-5 in the division. And there are a lot of right now rumors and things going around that the Cardinals are probably going to part ways and try to go in another direction. They're probably going to have a top draft pick. And they're probably going to be looking for a quarterback to go and move on in the future. And hope Kyler can land somewhere, maybe a team and take a chance because he has played a lot of football. But I think that is over for him in Arizona, and I think Arizona is going to move in a direction. The number 1 seed could come out of this division. So we're going to definitely want to keep an eye on this. If you're from the betting persuasion, you want to bet to see who's going to be the number 1 division. I'm saying that number 1 seed is probably going to come out of this division. So we're going to keep watching it as it goes along. Now, that is the NFC division. Now the AFC has some pretty tight races as well. So we're going to start with the AFC East. The AFC East is a powerhouse right now, just like the AFC West. To me, those 2 divisions right now have some of the best teams in them right now, and those are most of the playoff teams you saw when we went down the breakdown of it. So we're going to start with the AFC East. The AFC East right now is led by the New Patriots. Yes, you heard it right, the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are the darling of the NFL right now. They're headed by Mike Vrabel, and he has done an awesome job in his first year. Their second-year quarterback has everything he needs. But Mike Vrabel is a perennial Super Bowl champion, and he brought in Josh McDaniel, who was Tom Brady's old offensive coordinator, and they are Super Bowl winning coaches. They went back to the Patriot way. It didn't work out with the coach last year, but it has made dividends here. And they have a lot of talent on that football team. They made some really good draft picks, but Mike Vrabel has put them in a position to play sensible football, mistake-free football, even though they had an issue earlier with fumbling and stuff like that. They really should be 12 and won. They should have beat my Steelers, but they fumbled the ball so much they lost that game based on. But they really should be 12-1 right now. But you know, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Huh? Yeah, a win is a win. So right now, the New England Patriots are 11-2, and they're 3-0 in the division. In their last 5 games, they are 5-0. They are running through the NFL right now. They are winning a lot of football games, but they're not leaving any stone unturned. They beat the who was that they beat? Can't think of the name of the team. Well, they beat them 33 to 15. They just beat them single-handedly. And right now, they're early in the year they beat the Bills. So the Buffalo Bills they beat them early in the year in a conference matchup game. So they want to make sure that they solidify their dominance and let the Buffalo Bills know who's been winning this division when the Patriots regressed a little bit after Tom Brady left. So right now, they're the kings of that division. The last 4 games on the schedule right now, they'll be playing the Bills, the Ravens, the Jets, and the Dolphins. So they got 3 division games left, and 1 with the Ravens. If they want to get that number 1 seed, they're going to really solidify themselves to make sure that they get that number 1 seed. The Buffalo Bills are sitting at number 2 at 9-4, and they're 2-2 in the division. They just came off a very good, impressive win against the Bengals, where they won 39-34 with Josh Allen pretty much put his Superman cape on and won that game and wheeled them back into the division. Right now, their notable wins and losses, they beat the Chiefs, but then they lost to the Texans. The Texans came in and smashed them in the mouth, and he actually fumbled and turned the ball over a couple times. So the Texans have a really impressive win. Their last 4 games are the Patriots, the Browns, the Eagles, and the Jets. So those are the last 4 games. Not too bad, but they can win out. And I think you're going to see Josh Allen put his to help them win that game. The Miami Dolphins are sitting at 6-7. They're 3-2 in the division. Right now, their last win was even though against the Jets, but they still, it's the NFL team. They won 34-10 in an impressive win over them. They are 3-2 in the last 5 games. Notable wins they had, they beat the Bills. The Bills beat them, and then Miami did beat the Jets as well. So those are 2 division games. Right now they're 6-7, and they're sitting right now at 11 seed. They can probably still one of those positions if one of these teams get lackadaisical and fall off a cliff. So right now they're sitting in the driver's seat. They got to play the Steelers on Monday live at Acrisure. I will be watching that game as my Steelers. They got to play the Bengals. They all have to play the Bucks and the Patriots. Of course, the Jets are mathematically eliminated. They are 3-10. And right now, Aaron Glenn is probably going to be looking for a quarterback next year. The Justin Fields experiment just didn't work out, and they're going to be retooling and trying to get that team. It's his first year. It's just going to take time to get a team together. They have some free agents that they lost through trades, so they're trying to retool. Sauce Gardner's gone, and Quentin Williams is gone, so they're going to be retooling that team. We'll see in year 2 can prop that up. The AFC North division, my division, where my Pittsburgh Steelers are leading right now, number 1 division at 76. But this division is very close. It's going to come down. Both these teams, the Ravens and the Steelers, are going to have to win out, okay? And because they got to play each other in the last game of the season. Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 7-6 and 3-1 in the division. They just came off a win against those vaunted Ravens, who I can't stand, 27-22. They are 2-3 in their last football games that they played in the last 5. Notable wins were both against division opponents. They beat the Bengals and the Ravens. The last 4 games are going to be on the Dolphins, again, on Monday Night Football. They got to play the Lions, which is going to be a tough game, the Browns, and then the Ravens at the end of the year. The Ravens, they are number 2 in the division at 6-7, 2-2 in the division. Of course, the last game that they played on Thursday Night Football. They played against the Bengals and lost 32-14 and fell off a cliff. They just look bad. It was terrible. But they'll figure it out eventually. The last 4 games for them, they got to play the Patriots, they got to play the Bengals, and of course they got to play the Packers, which is a tough game for them. And they got to play, of course, my Steelers at the last game of the year. They are 3-2 in the last 5 games. And of course, their notable losses were against the Bengals and the Steelers. So that hurt them lose those 2 games in the division and while they dropped down. The Cincinnati Bengals have made a resurgence. They are 3-1 in the division, but they are 4-9. And right now, they lost a heartbreaker to the Bills, 39-34. And Joe Burrow looks like he's about to retire. That's the buzz around. He doesn't like he's happy. So the Bengals want to figure out something to get their quarterback back in gear so he does not leave that team. Right now, with a loss, they're going to be mathematically eliminated. The Browns, of course, are already mathematically eliminated. They're 3-10, and they're 0-4 in the division. They're going to be retooling, and looks like I'm going to try Kevin Stefanski is probably going to be out. And the question for the Browns is who is going to be their quarterback next year? Right now, Shedeur Sanders has 4 games to show what he's worth. Of course, we saw Dylan Gabriel. They did trade away Joe Flacco early in the year to the Bengals. So next year's all going to be what the next coach is going to be. Hopefully, to come in and makes that decision, and I hope it's Shedeur because it looks like he's going to be that NFL quarterback. The AFC South. So the AFC South is headed by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Shout out to them, especially Antonio Johnson, who was Coach K's son, and you got to go watch him out and go watch that plays a safety position. They are 9-4 in the division, and 9-4 overall, and 4-1 in the division. They had a huge win against, even though the quarterback Daniel Jones got hurt towards Achilles. They won 36-19 in an impressive win, especially in the division. They are 4-1 in the last 5 games. They beat the Jets. I mean, the last 4 games they have was with the Jets, the Browns, the Colts, and the Titans. So those are last games on the division. The notable wins for them: they beat the Colts, but they did lose to the Texans. So the Texans are going to be probably going to be a playoff team. So that could hurt them in the seeding if it comes down to a evenly matched record. The Texans right now are 8. They have climbed out of the basement. The Texans had a rough start to the year. C.J. Stroud has some concussion issues. They have some injuries that they overcame, especially the wide receiver position. They are 8-5, and they are 5-0 in their last 5 games. Very impressive. And the most impressive win they had was actually where they beat the Kansas City Chiefs 20-10. Their last games they're going to have, the last 4, the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Colts were the last 4 games. Notable wins. All the notable wins have been in the division. All 3 of them have been division wins. But they have some critical losses, but some of the wins against the Chiefs and the Bills. So that's the last 5 games. So two against 2 perennial playoff teams and 3 in the division. So right now the Texans are dangerous. I wouldn't want to play them. I'll tell you that right now. Indianapolis Colts are right now 8-5 when they had the best record in the division and was looking like that Daniel Jones and the running back were going to be league MVP candidates. Well, Daniel Jones out for the season, and the running back looks like he is going to have to do that all on his own and carry the team. They are 2-3 in the last 5 games with 3 losses in a row. The last loss coming to the Jaguars, 36-19. The last 4 games they got to play against Seattle, the 49ers. They got to play against the Jaguars and the Texans. So hopefully they can get it together because they've lost 3 games in a row. And we'll see on Sunday what the advent of Phillip Rivers, the old Grizzly, who's probably going to get a Hall of Fame jacket here soon. But apparently, because he is coming out of retirement, he's going to have to wait 5 more years to get put back on the ballot. That sucks. But hey, he's trying to win a Super Bowl. And right now, this team looks like they can. They lost to the Jags and lost to the Titans. So we'll see how that goes. Right now, the Titans are mathematically, they are 2-11. And right now, again, they're going to they're a work in progress. Their young quarterback, Cam Ward, is going to how's they going to look, but they're going to keep trying to rebuild that roster and give him some confidence because I think they do have the quarterback. Cam Ward is very solid. He just need to get some more season. And then lastly is going to be the AFC West division. Now, this division is definitely tight. Right now, they're led by the Denver Broncos, who are 11-2 and 3-1 overall in the division. They came off a nice little win against a division opponent. They beat the Raiders 24-17. They are 5-0 in their last 5 games, and they have won an impressive 10 straight football games. I don't care how you get them, winning 10 games straight is, and they are doing that. They are very dominant defensively, and the offense is very a well-oiled machine. Sean Payton is a Super Bowl winning coach, and everybody said if he got a hold who was a 5-year start in college, you will see the impressiveness that will come out of him. And right now, it's showing 10 straight wins or 10 straight wins. They have 4 games left against the Packers, the Jags, the Chiefs, and the Chargers. They have won 3 division games against the Chiefs and the Texans, and they are impressive. 5 straight wins. The Chargers are 9-4, sitting at number 2 in the division, and they are 4-0. They're the only undefeated team in the division. The last win they got was last Thursday against at 22-19 in an impressive win. Their last four games are going to be against the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Texans, and of course the Broncos. The notable wins are against the Eagles and the Jags. But those games they have to play, it's going to be really tough running sled. I think out of all the teams left, theirs is the toughest. The Chiefs are definitely battle tested. The Cowboys have perennial offense. The Texans defense is formidable, and those Broncos are just good. So right now they're going to be looking at it, and hopefully they can squeeze out a win and finish strong because they are, as you can see, in the playoff hunt. The Chiefs right now have been the biggest disappointment of the year and the biggest shock. They have won 9 straight division titles, and that streak has been snapped. They're no longer going to be division winner, but they're trying to get into the playoffs. Right now, they're sitting at the number 10 seed. They have to win out. Pretty much have to win every game from now. If they lose any of the games, they're going to be eliminated, and that's going to be pretty much unprecedented, especially with the run that they've had, going to 5 Super Bowls, 9 titles. Very impressive. But sometimes adversity can bring growth, and maybe this will be good for them. They need to retool. They're all getting older. They need to get younger in certain positions, and maybe this will work. Right now, the Chiefs are 6-7, 1-2 in the division, and they are 1-4 in the last 5 games. The last loss notably coming on Sunday against the Texans, 20-10. The last 4 games are going to be against the Chargers, against the Titans, against the Broncos, and the Raiders. So we'll see what happens, but they need to win out. Then, of course, lastly is the Raiders. The Raiders have been, and they're out of the playoffs at 2-11, 0-5 in the division. Pete Carroll, is he going to be coming back? Probably Geno Smith, we won't see him either. They're probably going to be trying to draft and get free agents. I think Pete Carroll will come back. It's only his first year there, so they're going to be trying their best to retool the team. I'll be shocked if he leaves, but I think he's going to be there. The Chiefs won a lot of games of one score last year, and this year those one score games they've been losing, and that's why they're 1-4 in the last 5. So, but there you have it, guys. That's an overall breakdown right now of all the divisions. You tell me what you think and where your team's going to be. I know a lot of people are having a nail bite situation. They don't know what's going to happen to their team, if their team's going to win or they're going to, but we'll find out. So please, I appreciate everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this content. A lot of hard work goes into it. And also, too, I forgot about the contest. So really easy. First, you have to be a subscriber to the channel. I'm giving away $30. If I don't give it away just to anybody, you got to subscribe to this channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also got to like it. It's real easy. All you got to do is guess what my football number was when I was a sophomore at Lincoln Senior High School in East St. Louis. I know what it is, but you got to comment it down in the comment section, all the numbers. What was my number my sophomore year of high school? You tell me. And what we'll do is we'll pick the winner on Wednesday. If we have multiple people who have picked the same number, we'll take all those people, do a separate raffle for those people because they did get the number right, and then we'll pick the winner out of that. Hey, but share this content. Hey, $30 is $30. I don't know nobody gonna turn down any money. But again, as we always say, guys, we appreciate everything that you do. We appreciate you guys coming to us and sharing your time and being with us. You can be anywhere else. No Bleed Nation, we love you. And anybody else told you we love you, hey, we love you. We believe in you. And of course, for everybody that's in the nosebleed section, that's what we do this for. So you guys have a very good weekend. Stay tuned for some more breakdowns for some games that are coming up soon. And we'll talk to you later. And you guys have a great Saturday. Stay warm. Peace.